Well, welcome to the 700 Club. President Trump continues to move full speed ahead, fulfilling his campaign promises. He's meeting with Republicans today to talk about getting his agenda through Congress, including the repeal of Obamacare.
And the president is looking at drastically cutting America's role in the United Nations. Jennifer Wishon brings us the story from Washington.
President Donald Trump travels to Philadelphia today to generate brotherly love among Republicans in Congress. He's there for a strategy session designed to put GOP lawmakers on the same page on issues like replacing Obamacare during these crucial early days of his administration. The president is moving ahead with his agenda through executive actions. He's expected to put a temporary halt on the flow of refugees into the U.S. and direct his administration to stop issuing visas for people coming from countries with strong ties to terrorism, including Iran, Syria, and Yemen. After signing an executive order to begin the process of building a wall along the nation's southern border, Trump renewed his promise that Mexico will pay for the construction.
We're going to be starting those negotiations relatively soon, and we will be in a form reimbursed by Mexico.
Mexican President Peña Nieto is scheduled to meet with the president next week, but is considering canceling his trip following Trump's order to build the wall. The president's executive actions on trade, manufacturing, and business deregulation are driving optimism on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial Average crossed the milestone of 20,000 this week. And the president is launching an investigation into voter fraud.
I think in terms of registration, where you've got folks on rolls that have been deceased or moved or registered in two counties.
And the president's cabinet continues to come together. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has been sworn in as ambassador to the United Nations. She supports the president's call to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. Meanwhile, reports indicate the Trump administration is considering drastically reducing the United States' role in the UN, including eliminating funding for UN or other agencies that give full membership to the Palestinian Authority, support programs that fund abortions, or go around sanctions against Iran or North Korea. The U.S. pays 22% of the UN budget. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Well, in other news, a major world leader is joining President Trump and the Republicans in Philadelphia today. Charlene Aaron has that story from the CBN newsroom. Charlene?
Gordon, British Prime Minister Theresa May will tell Republicans that the U.S. and the U.K. were leaders in building the modern world and that they can lead together again. May will meet with President Trump at the White House tomorrow. Trump and May are expected to discuss a trade deal with the U.K. as it prepares to leave the European Union after last year's Brexit vote. Well, people in the South are still cleaning up and recovering from the deadly tornadoes and storms that struck the region this past weekend. And Operation Blessing volunteers are on the scene to help people in the hard-hit town of Albany, Georgia. Gary Lane has that story.
Martin McKimmey took cover when he heard what sounded like a freight train coming.
It lasted about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and when I came out, just every tree in my yard was down.
McKimmey's home suffered only minor roof damage, but he lost about 20 large pine trees and 2 oaks. He said he'd never have enough money or ability to remove the downed trees. One company said it would charge McKimmey $22,000 to do the work. That's when Operation Blessing volunteers moved into action. McKimmey was touched by their kindness and help.
It renews my faith, so I thank you all very much.
Dan Moore is director of U.S. Disaster Relief.
Operation Blessing volunteers have been hard at work with chainsaw teams, blue tarp teams, debris removal, as well as salvaging personal belongings.
And Operation Blessing will be partnering with Sherwood Baptist Church and the Home Depot Foundation to help more people in the days ahead. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Thank God for Operation Blessing. Gordon?
Well, Operation Blessing is accepting volunteers to help people recover from the tornado in Albany, Georgia. Volunteers meet Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. at the New Birth Fellowship Church on 2106 Radium Springs Road in Albany. Now, we announced earlier that if you wanted to volunteer, you had to provide your own lodging, but starting tomorrow, Operation Blessing will be able to provide shelter, overnight shelter for people who want to go to Albany and volunteer, and that'll kick off tomorrow night. For more information, you have to be pre-registered in order to get the shelter. You have to be pre-registered, so you have to call 374-0944. Let me say it all again because I messed it up. 757-374-0944. And you can always find out more by going to their website, ob.org. We'll be back with more of the 700 Club after this.